Last week, I took all the employees in my companies to Park City, Utah for a retreat. And it got me thinking about how overlooked company culture is. If you build the right culture, you're gonna attract the right employees, you're gonna be able to retain them for a longer period of time, and they're gonna produce at a much higher level. And so in today's video, I'm gonna talk about how you can build company culture regardless of how big your business is. If you're new to my channel, my name's Ryan Pineda. I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur here in Las Vegas. I flipped hundreds of homes, I own hundreds of rentals, and I've got multiple businesses doing millions a year in profit. And if you haven't heard, I just launched a brand new project called The Wealthy Way, where you can join our Discord community, you can get access to our online course, and you can get our Wealthy Way planner completely for free by just going to wealthyway.com. Now, when it comes to company culture, it's something that I am a huge fan of, mainly for selfish reasons. I know that having great culture will make the business more profitable, but also I personally just want to come to work with people that I enjoy hanging out with every day. For most people, they spend a big portion of their life at their workplace. And if your workplace is somewhere that you don't really like being and it's miserable, then it's probably not a good way of life. But if you're somewhere that you love coming to work and it's enjoyable, then you're gonna produce more, you're gonna stay there longer, and it's just gonna be a better place overall that you're gonna be happy at. Now, the culture you create is gonna be dictated by the things that you do to foster that culture. If you walk around my office, you'll see that we have a very specific type of person that we attract. Most of my employees are younger, they're probably around 20 to 40 years old. Most of them are heavy into social media. That's probably how they heard about the job position that they got hired for in the first place. And because many of them are younger, they're looking for a place where they can grow with a company that is also growing. And so our companies attract them for that very reason. And there are a lot of other things that they're looking for, but that's just a basic rundown. Now, the thing that you gotta look at is how they came to that conclusion that this was the place they wanted to work. Well, it comes all the way from the top as the owner and figuring out what kind of company culture do you wanna set. So here are a few things that I do in order to set the culture. The first thing I do is establish core values. So on the wall in our office, we have our 4 core values that are non-negotiable. Serve others, train daily, play fair, no ego. So anyone we hire for all of my companies must have all 4 of these character traits. If they're lacking in just one of them, I will not hire them. With Serve Others, I want them to be out there helping their fellow coworkers as well as all of our clients and customers. For Train Daily, that means I want them to constantly be growing at whatever it is they're doing. I want them to grow in their job. I want them to grow in their lifestyle. I want them to grow in their relationships, their health. I want people who want to get better. If you're somebody who wants to just chill and coast at the same level all the time, this ain't the place for you. The third core value of Play Fair means that we are going to have integrity with everything that we do. Real estate can be a very shady business. Social media and everything else can be a gossip place. It can be a negative environment. But I want all of my employees to remember to play fair no matter what's going on. Even if somebody treats us the wrong way or does something unethical, we still need to play fair and play by the rules. The last core value would be no ego. And I always joke to everybody that this really applies to me. There is no one who is bigger than the company. I don't care how much revenue you've produced, how many deals you've done, how many sales you've done. At the end of the day, always remain humble and do not have an ego. And throughout the hiring process, we do our best to figure out, does this person have all of these core values? Now, it's impossible to say just from an interview and even a few interviews, but over time you start to see that this person has it or not. If we notice that they're just lacking in some of these things, then eventually we know we're gonna have to let them go. And so it's better to get rid of them sooner by having these in place than to just let this drag out over time, realizing that they weren't a fit from the beginning. So core values are gonna be one of the best ways that you develop your company culture, because you want similar, like-minded people all together bringing each other up. The second thing I do to build company culture is that I always give people an opportunity to grow. If you just think about the core values for a minute, I'm attracting somebody who wants to train daily. That means that they want to grow and progress. And so I've got to be able to give that person opportunities to keep making more money, to achieve a new status or a job position, because that is the type of person I'm attracting. And this has happened over and over again in my companies as we've gotten more people who have risen to the top. For example, the very first person that I ever hired was my friend Nick. We knew each other from middle school, we went to high school together, and then when it came time to start a real estate brokerage, we teamed up and he became the broker. From there, we built the company to having over 150 realtors. He's listed all of my flips for the last 4 years, and he has ascended to being the head of investor relations at Pineda Capital. It's safe to say that his pay and everything else has risen as he's grown and taken on more responsibility because he has proven himself over and over again. Another example would be Sean Bob over at Home Run Offer. He was the very first agent to sign up for Forever Home Realty 4 years ago. At the time, I didn't have any plans for him to eventually be the COO of Home Run Offer, but he kept working his way up over and over again. He started out doing acquisitions for Home Run Offer, then he was handling dispositions. At some point, I think he was even handling marketing, before eventually becoming the COO, where he now manages a really big team, and he also is with me on Pineda Capital, helping us acquire more apartment buildings. But the last example I'll give you is my own sister, Noelle. She started working for me about 4 years ago. She was working a job as a regional manager at Hot Dog on a Stick, and she just did not like the career. So she took a huge pay cut to become the receptionist at Forever Home Realty when we didn't have any agents. I was paying her $1,500 a month until I could figure out what we could use her skills for. You gotta remember, at the time, I didn't have a very big operation or all the things you see today. All she was buying into was the vision for what it could become. Well, fast forward throughout the years, she starts working mainly for Home Run Offer, managing all these different aspects of the company. Then she works her way up to being my right-hand person, helping me manage all of the companies overall. And then I gave her a piece of equity in my company, Lunar Ecom. And because of that, she will become a millionaire before I became a millionaire. So my point is, with all three of those stories, every single one of them joined because they knew that they were gonna have the ability to grow. And now it's very easy for anyone to join today and see the opportunity because we have proved it time and time again. But they were going on blind faith that it would grow. And I don't even know if they knew it was gonna grow as fast as it did, but they were a huge reason on why. So my point with that story is that if you wanna have great company culture, you need to find ways to allow your employees to grow as they prove themselves. And as a business owner, think about it. If your employees have the opportunity to have more responsibility and make more income, that must mean your company is doing pretty good that they're able to get that pay. I always create some type of commission or bonus structure that's related to how much the company is making. Therefore, if they're making more, I'm making more. Now, the third thing I like to do to create company culture is do events that create camaraderie. Our employees are friends with each other and genuinely like hanging out. There used to be a running joke that I would take Sean Bob on trips with me that had nothing to do with him. I'd go on these trips to speak on stage or be on a podcast, and I'd bring Sean Bob with me because I had a Southwest companion pass, so it was free. And even though he didn't really have a purpose for going on those trips, I just like bringing him along to hang out. And with some of my other employees, we go to church together, we do Bible study together, our families go on vacation together. I just mentioned we had the company retreat in Park City, Utah. It was 3 days just hanging out, snowboarding, and having fun as a company. So creating these events and places where you can foster relationships outside of the office is so important for company culture. The other big thing I try to do is create a work schedule that supports a wealthy lifestyle. So my big push lately has been The Wealthy Way, where I talk about how to live a truly abundant life. I think there are so many people grinding, trying to just make money, that they miss out on all the other amazing parts of life. And I'd be a hypocrite with that if I wasn't trying to let my employees live that way as well. So I encourage them to spend time with their families. I don't even open the office on weekends. I want them to take care of their health and go to Bible study and learn new things. Essentially everything that I teach in the Wealthy Way course. So if you want to get that, go to wealthyway.com. It's completely free. But I can tell you, if you do these things in your own company, you are going to get employees who love to come to work, who are going to stay with you through and through, and who are going to produce at a much higher level because they love what they do. They're not going to always be looking for the greener grass on the other side. So don't neglect your company culture. It's going to make you a lot of money, and it's going to make things far more enjoyable. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.